Hey everybody, welcome to Everyday Journey. Today we need to show this thing some love. It's shown me a lot of love over the years, and if it still works, if everything checks out, I need to get it running. So it quit on me. I got another one. You guys hopefully saw that video. If not, I'll put a link at the end for it. But I want this one to be up and running, so I've got two to work with. So let's check it out real quick and see if we can't get it going. First things first, we need to check for compression. So our compression tester, this right here, came from what is it, O'Reilly's Auto Parts. You can actually rent these, so you don't even have to buy it. This, on the other hand, the adapter, which I'm not sure if I need for this or not, you may have to buy, but it doesn't really matter. These are pretty cheap. So this is an adapter to make sure it fits into the cylinder or into the spark plug well. So let's go ahead and open it up and get this going. So first things first, go ahead and pull our spark plug wire off of here, and now go ahead and get our ratchet and take out the spark plug. Now we take our socket wrench here and go ahead and pull out our spark plug. Let's check out our spark plug. You can see here, or maybe you can't. I mean, it looks like it's been used, but looks like it's okay. So there we go. We don't have to make it perfect. It just has to be on there. Let's go ahead and hook up our gauge. Of course, it's got a fitting like any air tool. And there we go. We push the button, make sure it's cleared out, zeroed out, and give it a few pulls and see what happens. We're getting about, what is that, 130? Somewhere in between 150 and 120. That right there should be plenty, so I don't think that's our issue. Go ahead and zero that out, release the pressure, go ahead and take this back off. So we know we're getting compression. Next thing we need to check is spark. So we take our spark plug tester here, take our spark plug, and put it back in. Well, this is not really testing the spark plug, actually. It's checking to make sure that it's supplying spark to the spark plug. If it didn't, we wouldn't get any kind of spark whatsoever. So let's see what we get. Here we go. So this end right here with the light goes into the cable. This end goes onto the spark plug. And again, just like before, we check it and see if we can see the light. And I'm not seeing the light. Let me turn out the lights and see if I can see it better. Alright, so as we can see, we're getting spark. Now we know that that part is working like it should. Go ahead and take the spark plug out and clean it up a little bit. But that's probably not our problem, our issue. Our issue is probably related to the carburetor. It's probably not getting fuel. So what we need to check now is to clean up the carburetor, and maybe I'm going to try to clean it up without taking it all off. Make sure that the air filter is clean, make sure that the fuel filter is clean. And it could be something as simple as we've got a fuel line that's rotted out some, and now it's not getting fuel into there. So we'll have to check that out and see. Let's clean this up. Just take a wire brush to it. Go ahead and make sure it's got all the deposits off of it from where everything fires and sticks to the spark plug. And you don't have to do this too much. And if you wanted to, since this one I've never replaced the spark plug, you may go ahead and replace the spark plug. Alright, you play with this stuff enough, you learn to keep your spare parts, anything that stopped working. I've got this shoebox, just label it 2-cycle parts. I've got fuel tank in here, some fuel lines, another carburetor from something. But here we got a spark plug. Could be that spark plug's bad too. I have fuel. We have fuel. Examining the fuel lines here. Everything looks like it's fully connected going in. There's no cracks or anything. It's going all the way up to the carburetor. It connects there, so we should be getting fuel. So we'll prime it, see if we get anything going. So with this, accessing the carburetor is pretty simple. Just take off the screw. And voila, there's the carburetor. And it looks pretty nasty. So we'll pull out our screen. There's actually no filter. Pull out our screen and see if we can't clean this thing up. So that's about as much as I'm going to clean it up at the moment. Go ahead and take us an 8mm socket or a wrench. Go ahead and adjust or take this off so we can check out the carburetor. Alright, there's our cover. We can go ahead and clean that a little better. And we can already see gunk right here in the carburetor, so there's probably our issue. So at this point we need to undo the throttle cable, throttle linkage here, and disconnect the fuel lines. I'm going to put something under it so I can catch any fuel that spills out. Alright, so first things first, throttle linkage right here on top, and you just pull that out. It's kind of held in like a Z-shaped. There we go. That's off of there. Look before you take it off and make sure that there aren't any other places for that to go in there, because sometimes you could hook it up to a different one. So the next thing, we're going to pull off the cap on this so you get some airflow in there, and that way whenever we disconnect this, hopefully the fuel will mostly go down back down into the fuel tank. Sometimes it's best to take a flathead screwdriver and kind of pry a little bit from the other end to pry it down off of the tube. And I'm pulling down on the tube at the same time as I'm kind of prying at the top edge of it. So now that's off. Now we should be able to pull our carburetor out completely. You will have gaskets and stuff with this, and you run the risk of ruining those gaskets. And that's perfectly fine. If you do, then you do. Just get you some more. Or sometimes you can buy these cheaper than you can the whole rebuild kit for it, so it's kind of a toss-up. So there we go. Now we can work on the carburetor. Always keep old toothbrushes because you never know when you'll need them. They work great for cleaning stuff. Let's go ahead and clean all this off, get this looking snazzy, and then see if we can't spray it out, clean it out real good. So here's brushing it off, and I kind of sprayed it out with carb cleaner. These things right here, the twist ties you get off of bread, save at least a few of those and just keep them behind, keep them around, because they work great for using a little wire to be able to go clean out these ports and stuff in here. Alright, so cleaned up the carburetor with some carb cleaner, just sprayed it out, just left it whole. Put it back on here, tried to fire it up, still nothing. So now I'm pretty sure it's getting gas. Now I believe the problem might be my ignition coil. It may be firing, but not firing well enough. So check out my next video. So I'm going to try and make it quick so that you guys can see how to tear these things down. Replace that ignition coil if you need to. Sometimes it's called ignition module. But we'll make it pretty quick. So check out my next video for that, and hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.